as the first siren is about to sound. The rain has become a little steady, but is not yet heavy. So here we go, the knockout final in season 88. A bounce that favours O'Dwyer, and Melbourne looking to go into attack. O'Dwyer over the ball, no one able to get it out effectively. It's pushed wide over the head of Keane. Trying to soccer forward was Laidley. A chance now for Johnson of the Demons. Support from Lovell. He takes it from the half-back line, going out wide towards the wing, looking for and finding Earl Spalding. Good mark. Under plenty of opposition, Spalding goes onto the left foot. Swings it down towards half-forward. Jackson is the danger man down in that pocket. Can't get there, however. It's Phil Scott, who's starting on the ground, tries to get the hand pass away. It's effective, going back towards the half-back line. Unable to mark was Murray Rance. Support again from Dean Laidley, although he's been pressured by Healy, who soccers off the ground, doesn't gather a lot of distance, and Worsfold will pick it up.
It's at half-back flank for the Eagles. The kick by Worsfold is out wide, and mark has been taken by Johnson. Alan Johnson, very experienced campaigner. Kicks the Demons into attack now, up towards centre half forward. Out of position was Lyon, and the mark has been taken very, very comfortably by O'Connell. Laidley, is it Laidley on half-back? Kicks it out wide now towards the wing. Attempted mark by Gastev. Punch off the ground is effective for the Demons, and it's over the line for a boundary throw-in. So, very steady rain falling at VFL Park. John Todd assessing the scene, perhaps trying to find any Melbourne changes at this early stage of the match. In front, Steins. Keane gets the tap out. It's an effective one, close to the boundary line. Lewis and Lamb, and it goes over. It is on the full. The appeal was from Alan Johnson, and the boundary umpire right on the spot. The free kick will go to Melbourne. Greg Healy played a tremendous game. Much improved form from him last week. His kick towards centre half forward. Yates, good play by Rance. Malaxos gets the hand pass back to Rance. Rance now up through the centre, kicks towards half forward, and there's a good mark taken there by O'Connell. Off it goes to Lewis. Lewis's kick off the side of his boot, and it's effective for the Eagles because Lockyer, named at full-back, starting in the forward pocket, has taken the mark inside 50 metres.
Yes, a couple of changes from both coaches. David Hart's on the wing on Main Waring, and Lockyer, as you called it, in up forward.
Lockyer's kick is not bad, close to the line. O'Dwyer helps it through for the first score of the elimination final, and it's a behind to the Eagles. So they've started steadily. Maybe the Demons perhaps a little bit excited in the final for 88. The kick in to half-back. Two Eagles players, Langdon. Oh, well tackled by Dersma. Pick up by Gwynter's, good football by the Demons. Kick slews off the side of his boot towards centre wing. Boundary line looming up, and the players can't really do much to keep it in. We'll have a boundary throw in on centre wing.
Yeah, and just to repeat what I said before, David Hart's actually playing on stretch. Main Waring was named on stretch. That's one of the subtle moves across the centre of the ground.
There's the throw in. Just the one score on the board, that to the Eagles, as Healy sends Melbourne into attack again, down towards that left half forward flank. Turner is there, however, for the Eagles, goes back towards Keane, and the big man takes it on his chest. Swings play back into the centre, a couple of options. He picks out Malaxos. Malaxos will steady and go towards Gastev. On the edge of the square, he decides to go directly down the ground. Glendinning is the target. Lovett coming in from the side. Waiting down in front is Carl Langdon. Hooks it over his body. How's the bounce going to be? Another behind goes on the board for the Eagles.
Just looking off the ball, Lamb is actually going to tag Healy, and Turner would appear to be playing on Jackson. Probably go on and off the ball with those two players.
2 points on the board to the West Coast Eagles. O'Dwyer in front. At the back is big Laurie Keane. Support from Lockyer, and he's going to need it too. Keane just can't pick it up, but he does get it out. It is effective too to Gastev, who pushes it wide, and Main Waring takes the mark. Some 70 metres out from goal is Main Waring. He's had a fine season. Sean White got up high, danger because he's left a player at the back. Langdon will get the opportunity, and here's the first goal.
First blood to the Eagles, and Carl Langdon already with his second shot at goal. As Ross Glendinning, I believe, tried to soccer off the ball off the ground. It was probably the right player. It's just that he was so clear as it came over the back. Glendinning tries to wait for it to sit. It does ordinarily bounce, and Langdon's pretty happy about that first goal to the Eagles. Already Carl Langdon, a couple of important touches early in the game, in very good form of late.
So West Coast 1-2-8 lead Melbourne yet to score. They've got the ball out of the centre. It's at half forward. Kick out by Dersma. Out wide to the wing, and a well-judged mark taken by Miles. Maybe 50 metres. No, umpires are right on the spot, and Brian Wilson stands his ground. The kick towards half forward, and a good mark in these conditions taken by Gastev. Gastev too far out to score. Kicks it into the pocket. Glendenning. Too easy for the Eagles. And 40 metres out, Ross Glendenning will have their second shot for goal within about 3 minutes.
Wasn't that an excellent mark? And then an equally good kick from Gastev to set up Ross Glendenning. Certainly within kicking distance.
Tight angle. High shot. Goes just across the face. It'll be thumped through for a behind to the Eagles. So they go to 1-3-9. And in the early minutes, they're looking pretty good.
Danny Hughes bring the ball back into play, back to Sean Wight in the back pocket. Wight goes long, looking for stretch. Can't complete the mark. Miles towards the boundary line, and over it goes for a throw-in.
Yes, John Todd has certainly done his homework. He's got a lot of players running with the Melbourne players. Nearly everyone would have a task in this Eagles side.
The Eagles lead by 9 points. Keane pushes it down. Socket off the ground by Lamb, and straight to Grinter. To half forward. At the back, Newport and Mainwaring. Great interception by McKenna. The sweeping hand passes across to Rance. And once again, the Eagles are out of trouble. Going up towards Lockyer on the half forward line. He takes it on the chest. They're doing all the attacking, playing in front. Langdon drifting into the pocket. He gets there.
And it really is an unusual forward setup with Lockyer, Scott, and also Glendenning. 3 big guys down there in that full forward line, but already proving very effective. And in these conditions, you wouldn't think that would be so.
Grinter's had a few touches, but this guy's had 3 or 4 too.
Carl Langdon from just inside 50 metres. He's a left footer. Pushes it into the square. O'Dwyer is there, who's waiting down. Gastev was there, couldn't take it. Stretch picks it up. He goes high. Can anyone get there in time? Hart has the chance. Picks it up now. Has to backpedal a little, but sensibly so, because he finds Keane, who sprints away. Goes long in towards full forward. Sean Wight tried to tap it over the line, which could turn out to be dangerous. Socket to Stretch. Shrugs the tackle, and this time gets Melbourne out of trouble. Going over the head of Lamb towards Healy. Going to be kept in play by Spalding. But his kick under pressure is wide. It goes out of bounds on the full. So at the moment, things falling into place for the West Coast Eagles.
Yes, that was a good gather by Spalding, but just a little bit of pressure by the Eagles. And it gives them a chance to go back into attack. Miles looked for the option, went for it. Langdon couldn't take the mark. Kick away by Johnson in towards the centre. And there's the man who's best on the field so far in this match, Laurie Keane. Tremendous. He's controlled around that centre. His left foot kick towards centre half forward, drops in short. O'Dwyer can't mark. Gastev to Lewis. Lewis's quick kick comes out. Yates can't control it. Malaxos just outside 50 metres. Hand pass intercepted. Johnson, good play. Turner harassed off the football. The kick back into the centre. No mark. Miles the first to recover. Gets the handball wide. McKenna with a bit of composure. His hand pass is not quite as effective as you would like, but Worsfold tidies up, and the pass out wide finds Lamb. Lamb now runs up towards the centre half forward position. Kicks it into the pocket. Tremendous gather by Glendenning. Langdon shrugs the tackle, gets the hand pass off to Hart. Here's another goal coming up for the Eagles. It's into the square, and there's a mark being taken there by Lockyer. So the Demons' defence under pressure, and it's not very tight at all.
Oh, it was tremendous pressure then. They really are struggling to get it past half forward, Melbourne.
Lockyer's kick is a goal.
And second goal to the Eagles. And the 2 goal scorers, Langdon and Lockyer, have been very prominent up forward. Tremendous team play then in flipping the ball around. Really did keep their composure. Langdon did very well to get across to Hart. Hart had the option of Glendenning, elected to go to the square, and Lockyer really with too much room there, right on the goal line, and kicked truly for their second goal. What a terrific start from the Eagles.
15 points the margin. A fine start for the West Coast Eagles, the underdogs, the visitors, but they're taking all before them at the moment. Admittedly, it's still very, very early days. Here's Keane. had a great start. Will do his confidence the world of good. From the middle, who's going to be first to get it out? Gastev is harassed. Yates picks it up, goes wide. The kick is not a good one. Straight to Laidley. Gets his kick in time. Johnson and Malaxos. Johnson soccers off the ground. Jackson slips but does get boot to ball. Now an opportunity for Melbourne through Viney. And his kick is wide. So we'll see another throw in.
I would suggest what you've said, Ian and Sandy, about O'Dwyer. There's been some concern because Steins is on the ball. This will be very much earlier than what he has been of late. Tends to play the set position for a lot longer.
Steins changing jumpers. I'm used to seeing him in the customary number 11. Not today. Lovell finds Jackson. Melbourne want to score. They want to try and stop the run. Miles runs straight across, however, and takes it over the line. So a throw in on the outer side.
The Melbourne bench there, I guess that John Northey would be a little concerned, even though it's still pretty early. The Eagles have done it pretty well. O'Dwyer tapped to the back. Gastev's kick well smothered. Chance for Jackson, held. Scott can't break clear. Tap on, underneath it Gastev off to turn. It was a throw, and umpire Cameron was right on the spot. And you've been caught, Johnny Gastev, and the free kick will go to Melbourne just inside the 50-metre mark. And it'll be taken out there by Jackson, is it? Deep, very, very deep in the pocket. One wonders whether he can get the distance. The flags don't indicate very much wind at all. So Jackson with the wet ball, punts towards goal, good distance, nearly a mark. There's a chance for Rance. Lots of pressure there put on by Greg Healy, and no one really can do much with the football. Murray Rance picks himself up, and we'll have a bounce. It's about 15 or a bit closer perhaps to the Melbourne goal. Difficult angle for a snapshot from this ruck contest. O'Dwyer gets it out towards Lovell. Kick off the ground. Clean bowls Gastev. Spalding off to Yates. Yates' kick into the pocket. Wilson being attended closely by McKenna. Handball by Rance finds the safety of the boundary line. So Melbourne with their first foray up forward, and it's been unproductive so far. Robert Flower on the bench, a very concerned onlooker. O'Dwyer. Scott doing well to put himself in front. Chance for Rance, looking for Laidley. Lyons in there on the bottom of the pack. Good tackle. Umpire Cameron says you've dropped it, Greg Healy, and the free kick will go to the Eagles.
Yes, just looking at that about Phil Scott there. He's actually playing at full back on Steins and O'Dwyer when they're resting. So Scott actually up in defence, and it's David O'Connell playing up forward.
Lamb finds Worsfold. He goes long to centre wing. Fisted towards the middle. The race is on. Johnson will be first to it. Onto the left foot he goes, taking it across the ground, but virtually straight towards McKenna. He's claimed and beautifully tackled. Has lost the football. Goes in again, however, but can't get it out. The umpire's calling the advantage. Lovell was a little undecided for a moment. This time he finds his mark and finds his skipper. Healy from 60 metres out. Melbourne looking to regain some composure after a great start by the Eagles as Lyon shoots towards goal. He's off target and one behind.
And the first real opportunity then for Melbourne. But the last 3 or 4 minutes, they've just turned the game around. The Eagles controlled the first 8 or 9 minutes, and really this last 3 or 4 minutes, Melbourne have started the pressure back onto the Eagles.
Well, sometimes you can be a little bit hepped up before a match. As Miles kicks the ball in, Demons may have been suffering there for the first few minutes. In towards the centre, the advantage is paid. Hart through the centre, up to half forward, and Langdon, dangerous player across that half forward line. Rodney Griddle you'll have to tighten up. Quick kick by Langdon in the Lockyer direction, and there's a bit of strength. Bustles Sean White out of it, and Lockyer takes the mark. He's looking for Glenn Nenning. Punched away. Chance now for Lovett. He leaves it behind. Malaxos. Lewis shoots for goal and hooks it too far. Didn't get the distance anyway. And Dersma knocks it over for another Eagles behind. So 2-4-16, and the Melbourne side have only kicked one behind.
Hughes again. But he's waiting for Dersma to just clear away. So we'll take the kick again.
Yes, Lovett's pickup attempt really wasn't wet weather stuff, was it? It really ran to the side of the ball with one hand. And you really must try and get your body behind the ball in these slipperier conditions.
Good crowd.
Yes, it has built up late, hasn't it? A lot of people coming in very late.
Hughes going long. Langdon shepherded out. Stretch at the back. Melbourne into attack. Deep towards half forward. Wilson looking for the free kick, but the advantage is paid. Viney now with a chance. On his hammer is Laidley. Still with Viney. Gets his kick, goes over the head of Laidley, over Jackson. Lyon giving support. He snaps in towards goal. And there's going to be a free kick. A free kick in the pocket to Gary Lyon.
Yes, what a tremendous breakaway from Melbourne then. Because the ball went over the back in these slippery conditions, the ball is going to go over the back a fair bit. And Melbourne, on occasions, have just started to get those players in and around the ball, and especially at the back.
It is on a very, very tight angle.
Should hold the ball up.
Use the banana kick or check side. Has he bent it back enough? No, he has not. In fact, it has gone out of bounds on the full.
He really needs to hold the ball at more of an angle so you hit it on the point. He really did hold the ball too flat.
Main wearing a fine mark. He's had a good season. There were some loose players for the Eagles around. McKenna a chance to scoot off. On to Lamb. Johnson chasing, but Lamb gets his kick. Good pressure, however, because the ball dropped short and was taken by Lovell. He immediately heads back over centre wing once again. Mainwaring came over the top. Turner showing desperation. Lunges. Gets it out to McKenna. Now Lamb again. They're starting to run with it. Mainwaring. Malaxos going with him, but again the kick drops short, and again it's taken by Johnson.
So, some poor play there by both sides. Johnson's kick up towards half forward. No mark taken by Rance. He's there to have another go at it to help McKenna out. McKenna's short kick and falls in the arms of Greg Healy. He was looking to play on, but really didn't get that opportunity. He's on centre wing, out of side. The Demons kicking to the main scoreboard end. No real breeze to speak of at half forward. Spalding, good gather, up towards full forward. At the back, O'Dwyer can't mark. Good play by Scott to put himself in front. Punch away by Worsfold. Another punch by Hart back into the centre. Malaxos off the ground. Gastev, good running by Hart. And he's kicked the ball now towards centre half forward for the Eagles. A little nudge out. Kick off the ground now. It's up on half forward flank for the Eagles. Hughes plays it on in front of himself. Harassed there by Glendenning, but it goes over for a boundary throw-in. So it came forward with a fair amount of precision there from the Eagles, messed up at half forward. Boundary throw-in about 60 metres out from the Eagles' goal. 2-4 plays one behind. 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Lamb, kick around the corner, inside 50. Still too far out to score. What can come of this? Alan Johnson tidies up at the back. Experienced campaigner, hand passes off to Grinter. Grinter with no one to kick to, kicks to the wide open spaces of the members' wing. Chance here for Hart. Hart on centre wing, short pass, should be effective. Malaxos is there to help out. Poor effort by Miles. He goes back after it again, hand pass long. Langdon, hand pass over the top. Worsfold, kick gets away towards full forward. A punch out wide towards the forward pocket. Gastev can grab the football. It's very slippery. Now Dersma to tidy up. The hand pass is too high. Punch away by O'Connell. Now the hand pass comes out and goes straight through Stretch's legs. Stretch off the ground. Lyon can't control it. The ball very, very difficult to handle, and it goes over for a boundary throw-in at half forward for the Eagles.
Yes, certainly. Very slippery conditions. All players having trouble then as we wait for this boundary throw-in.
15 points the margin, favouring the Eagles. Stretch hurriedly onto the left foot. Laidley will not get there in time, and so another throw-in to take place.
There's just a little point, Sandy, that you'll see the boundary umpire just help wipe the ball a little bit before he throws it, and the next grab after this is always, if you can get it, you can grab hold of it just like that one.
Stretch again, going short, and the diving mark is taken by Lyon, who's down on the defensive side of centre wing. Goes short, and not a good kick. Healy and Lamb see it over the line.
Poor play, and usually the Demons are quick to take advantage of that and move it so quickly.
Well, the Eagles got a great start. The rain has cleared. Keane wins the tap, trying to knock it on for Hart to get the run. Johnson intercepts. Just goes with a hurried kick towards the boundary line. And so another throw.
Sandy, I'd suggest that the umpires have really let this game go so far. Not that there's been a lot of packs, both sides play similar, but they haven't played those Ticky Touchwood free kicks yet.
Which has made it a better spectacle.
Sure.
From the throw in Hart. Laidley under pressure. Kicks back, kicks wide, and it doesn't matter anyway because the mark is taken by Johnson. Well, a big day for this man, former West Australian. No doubt many people in the West will be watching his game with interest as the diving mark is taken by Newport. Plays on. Into the middle. The slippery ball is making it tough. Lewis does the shepherding work, and heavy work it was too. Mainwaring back to Lewis. A high kick. Still virtually in the middle. Miles couldn't take it. Grinter can. Wide towards Laidley. He has support. He needs support too because he's pressured over the line by Todd Viney, Dwayne Lamb. So a throw in Melbourne's left half forward flank. But they're only just into attack. Marginally under 7 minutes remaining in this first quarter. So far, one that has belonged to the West Coast Eagles.
The players on centre wing, Member's side, perhaps just slightly favouring the Demons, and their moves up forward have really produced nothing. Umpire Cameron, punch out by Steins, pick up by Stretch. Not a bad tackle by Hart, deemed to be fair by the umpire. Steins underneath it, tries to flip out the back. Stretch can't get space really to do anything with the football, and he's hurried across the boundary line by Gastev. So we've got another boundary throw in. It's about 25 metres nearer to the Eagles' goal now, and getting close to quarter time. Steins takes the football. Dersma just gets his kick away towards Healy. Healy held, playing for the free kick. Play-on says the umpire. Healy's kick in towards the forward pocket area. Wilson, first real touch that Brian Wilson's had, overruns it, flipped out of the hands of and over the boundary line by Worsfold. So just inside 50 metres we've got another boundary throw in. Extremely difficult conditions. We've had a fair amount of rain since midday here in Melbourne, and now the football pretty hard to handle. Lamb off the ground. Steins 1 against 3. Melbourne teamwork not all that good. Lamb goes after it, gets the handball wide. Chance now for Hart. He's got a little bit of space, kicks it towards half forward. At the back, Lewis gives it a little bit of a bump. Oh, goes straight through Hughes' legs. Langdon just needed to keep his footing, couldn't quite do so. Lovett, kick off the ground, close to the line. Johnson out the back. Dersma gets his kick away. It's ineffective. Chance for Grinter to run Lewis down. He does. Malaxos kick in towards half forward. Half back now. Stretch tidies up. Kicks it wide. High ball coming in. Good judgment has been shown by Healy at the back, and he takes the mark. Play on. Yates out wide. He hasn't done much so far in the first quarter. Yates' kick into the forward pocket. No mark taken by Spalding. Punched away by Rance. He does well to recover. Handballs it off to McKenna.
McKenna time to steady. Has a look up towards centre wing, and the mark is taken by David O'Connell. Play on is the call. Lamb under pressure. So too McKenna. Lamb again, but he can't pick up the slippery ball. Lyon comes through. Now Melbourne go forward. Down towards the 50-metre line. Scott and Keane both try and fist it away. Rance at the bottom. Tackle too high, and he'll be free kick. So he's at half back. Drifting it short to Miles. Sweeping hand pass to Gastev in the middle. Gets his kick as unloaded. Glendinning, well spoiled. Waiting down his stretch. It'll be a great duel, that one, between Hughes and Glendinning. Todd Viney's at the bottom. And he'll send Melbourne into attack. They want a goal. He goes deep in towards the forward line. At the back is Jackson, chasing his Turner. Jackson hurriedly onto the right boot, flicks it back in towards goal, and it's taken by Healy, who goals. First one on the board for the Demons, kicked by their captain.
Yes, and it's taken them a long, long time. Just over 3 minutes to go in this quarter, and the first goal for the Demons and their captain, Greg Healy. In fact, the two taggers, as we look, Jackson was the one that got it. Lamb just gave Healy a bit too much room then, and Healy the presence of mind not to put his foot over the line, but just to dribble it with the kick in their first goal.
Gee, it was a good kick by Jackson. So Eagles lead by 9 points as Melbourne kick their first goal of the elimination final. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Worsfold diving on it, and the umpire will have to bounce again. Only 2 or 3 metres away from the centre circle. O'Dwyer. Keane does well, he's killed them in the ruck. Malaxos kick off the side of his boot. Langdon leads, flipping it on in front of him. It's probably dry weather football, Carl. Now he goes after it again. Brilliant football, Langdon. Left foot kick towards full forward. At the back, no mark taken by Lockyer. Hughes under pressure, kicks it off the ground. It finds the safety of the boundary line and will have a boundary throw in very near the small scoreboard at Waverley. Just outside the 50-metre mark. Eagles leading by 9 points. Melbourne goal coming through the quick work of Ricky Jackson. Out the back to Gastev, playing for the free kick. O'Dwyer trying to crash his way through. And Doug Coop on the ground. The free kick has been picked out of it by umpire Cameron, and it'll go to O'Dwyer. Didn't quite pick up who went off for Coop. O'Dwyer's kick towards centre wing. No one can take the mark. Lyons kick out the back. Jostle for possession. Viney and Laidley. Laidley very giving away quite a few kilos there to Todd Viney, but he did well and took it over the line for another boundary throw in. The play between wing and half forward on the outer side. There's Anthony Lovell, obviously the player that Doug Coop took over from, and we've got another boundary throw in.
The back was Lyon. Gastev unable to take it at the first attempt, gets crunched, but tries to spoon it out. He's looking for Chris Mainwaring. There's a free kick come out of it. Jeff Miles not liking the attention paid to him.
It's like Chief Littlewolf looking for a deck there on Gary Lyon, isn't he?
So once that has been sorted out, the ball will go back because the kick was taken. It subsequently went out of bounds, and now Keane's got to come back in again to do the ruck work with O'Dwyer. From the tap out, Lamb overruns it. Healy, a quick kick, a high kick going back towards centre wing. Lyon well spoilt by Miles. Mainwaring on his hammer is Newport, and with just under 1 minute remaining, a throw in again on that outer side.
Newport looks as though he's got the job to stay with Mainwaring.
Big job for him today. 9 points is the difference, favouring the Eagles. Coop towards half forward, fisted down again towards Mainwaring. Jackson will chip in front, but he needs help. He's got it in Newport. Great tackle by Lewis, however, puts him under pressure. Viney lost it. Mainwaring does it again, going in towards centre. Langdon. Johnson had to stand his ground. Malaxos over the top. Takes it now, pushing it wide. Here comes Glendinning on the half volley. He can't take it. Over the top came Hughes. Glendinning recovers to Gastev. Crunched as he took his kick and was forced to go wide. Hart won't be able to keep it in play. And so a throw in to take place close to siren time in this first quarter. And there it is, in fact. It's quarter time here in the elimination final. And at the end of the first break, we find the West Coast Eagles 2 goals 4-16, leading Melbourne 1-1-7.
Langdon keeps his cool, and then David Hart kicks to the square where who's there but Andrew Lockyer to kick their second goal.
So we're set now to go into the second quarter here at the elimination final, with the West Coast Eagles leading by 9 points. Worsfold tries to push them down to the half-forward line. Langdon has been dangerous. Lost possession on that occasion. Lamb gets a hurried kick down towards Lewis, who's been quiet in the first quarter. Can't get the football on this occasion, however, and we will see another bounce from umpire Peter Cameron. Barry Cable on the Eagles bench. A man who certainly knows all about finals football is Cable. As the Demons get out of trouble, going back towards the centre. Lyon's got to stand his ground. Waiting in front of the pack is Stephen Stretch, who's done well to half forward. The Demons would love the first goal in this second quarter. Jim Steins comes out, tries to push the ball wide, but it's taken by Lamb, who goes out towards the wing. Leading in the race is Newport. Shoved off the football by Chris Mainwaring and subsequently out of bounds, and a throw in on centre wing.
Just a good indication there was Lamb's kick. He was very clear of that pack and really didn't look, and that's probably just those nerves are settling down and playing in their first final.
So O'Dwyer gets the tap out down towards Healy. Mainwaring, flip out, chance for Lewis. O'Dwyer battling against Lamb, and Coop there for Melbourne, but umpire Sheehan decides on a bounce. Umpire Sheehan and umpire Cameron officiating this afternoon, and no bouncing, so obviously the conditions are pretty heavy down there on ground level. Keane takes a free kick out of that ruck duel. No one on the mark. Undisciplined football by Melbourne. Keane's kick towards centre half forward, and a great mark taken down there by Dersma, who did such a wonderful job on Stephen Kernahan last week. There's a 50-metre penalty against Gastev. In his endeavours to try and chase his Melbourne opponent Johnson, Gastev gives away 50 metres on Dersma.
Yes, unfortunately accidents count, Ian.
Yes, bad luck, but
as you see it here, and it really was just bad luck, but the rules are the rules.
The kick by Dersma goes up to half forward, gathered by Healy. Healy's kick wide in the Steins direction, goes through both he and Scott. Scott shows desperation, throws himself on the football. He's helped out there by Laidley. McKenna there, Yates doing it well for Melbourne. No one can break away, and umpire Cameron will come in and bounce. So the player's about 45 metres from the Melbourne goal. Half forward flank on the outer side. 2-4 the Eagles, 1-1 Melbourne. No score so far in the second term.
Laidley comes over the top. Yates waiting down. Feeds it off to Coop. A high kick. But the whistle had already sounded. It'll be a West Coast free kick. It will go back to centre half back, and it will be taken by Steve Malaxos. The Demons having trouble scoring. To centre wing, and a good mark taken by David O'Connell. Langdon wanting to go on with it.
Oh, son, get it back to your teammate. It's a slippery ball. Keep it off the ground for as long as you can.
O'Connell has got a kick over the mark. He's again being sent back. Ignores the lead of Lockyer and goes into Keane, who's just about right in the middle of the ground. Wants to get onto a torp, and it's got plenty of distance too. Glendinning and Wight jostle, waiting down Gastev. Got to get past Lovett to Mainwaring. He won't get there in time. It'll beat him over the line in the left forward pocket, and he slides over.
As we look there, Chris Lewis coming off the ground, and Wally Matera on the ground in his first final for the first time.
Not a bad move, the small player.
There's the throw in the left forward pocket. Glendinning was in front, waiting down Johnson. Claim was Rod Grinter by Wally Matera.
He looked a bit anxiously at the umpire then too, didn't he, Grinter?
Love it in the hands of the trainers. We'll keep an eye on him. The throw-in takes place just in front of him. We've got around 21 minutes of this second quarter remaining. There's headlocks in there. There's just about everything in there.
Stalemate?
And definitely a stalemate.
No one wanted to move.
And Greg Healy's at the bottom of it. So they're going nowhere fast at the moment. Bounces have been given away. Gastev, Matera, Newport. Hurried kick, but Worsfold is there and takes a good mark.
Marvellous young player. Stood his ground brilliantly then.
Worsfold centering to half forward. It bounces off the chest of Dwayne Lamb.
Well, if you're in front, you're going to get the opportunities.
And he's got it this time from 57 metres out though. Going in towards the pocket and over the line once again. Throw in the left forward pocket.
Actually, it wasn't great play then from them. I mean, the lead was wrong. You should have kicked it back to the goal square, and they're just falling down a little bit by going a bit wide. Both sides, actually.
Boundary throw in the Eagles' forward pocket. O'Dwyer can't get the ball down. Langdon overruns it. Matera's a chance. Hand pass is intercepted. Johnson playing very well in defence for Melbourne. Kicks it up towards the centre. Wilson, with skill, gets around Miles. Round onto the right foot. Shocking kick, but it's going to pay off. Good fortune there. Here comes Lyon. Kick up towards the full forward area. It goes through all players. At the back, Spalding into an open goal. Goes bang. Second goal to Melbourne.
And the luck of the bouncing ball, Malcolm.
Well, you could say that, but really it was Matera's handball that set that up on his wrong side, his left hand. He tried something that was a bit fancy, and with a slippery ball, you really must be balanced to handball as much as kicking. and that Brian Wilson was a courageous mark through the middle, which ended up with Spalding after some great play through that middle area. A very, very handy goal for Melbourne, and really that was the one they were looking for. Second goal to Melbourne.
And so the margin is now just 3 points. The centre bounce, shepherding going on all over the place. O'Dwyer still manages to get a fist to it. Lyon tries to poke it down towards Healy. Was intercepted, however, by Miles. Lovely hand pass on to Langdon. He'll get onto his left foot. Will he get his kick in time? Not quite. Drops short at half forward. Lovell with a roundhouse left. But Mainwaring ridden into the ground by Newport. And he'll take the free kick.
Well, in wet conditions, I consider Newport a little stiff there.
No, I mean, he really did climb into the back. He really did chase honestly. What about Quince's chase on Langdon was fantastic. And really, as soon as he got hold of him, he should just drop to his knees, and that stops his weight from going into the back of Mainwaring.
Chris Lewis is spending very little time on the interchange bench. He is back on the ground at the expense of Phil Scott. Mainwaring from 50 metres. Good looking drop punt, but trying for too much distance. He's pulled it, and one behind only is the result.
Yes, goals at a premium. This stage, straight out in front. Probably should have done better, Chris Mainwaring.
Hughes elects to go to the outer side. Looking out there for Newport, who's got a little bit of space, able to turn around and kick with the right foot, but it's ineffective because it went over the head of Stretch into the arms of David Hart. Hart, centre wing outer side. Kicks the Eagles back into attack. Dersma overruns it. Gastev there. And O'Connell looking for maybe a deliberate out of bounds, but Todd Viney having his turn on the interchange bench for the Demons, and Williams on the ground. Chance now for Melbourne. A quick kick out towards the wing area. Malaxos round onto the right foot, kicks it back towards half forward, and a well-judged mark taken there by Dersma. Dersma, short kick. Yates takes it nicely. Half-back flank. Graham Yates played a tremendous game against Carlton last week. High ball towards centre wing. Oh, nearly a mark there to Wilson. Goes after it again, Brian Wilson, but good desperation there for the Eagles by Hart. Keeps the ball in, and umpire Sheen will be forced to officiate. Both wings obviously pretty heavy, and out there Brian Sheehan has elected to throw the ball in the air once again. Keane doing well in the ruck, comes to the back. Rance gathers well, kicks the Eagles up towards centre half forward. Good mark taken by Gastev, and nearly a 50-metre penalty. That was a bit risky by Jamie Dersma, but Gastev will go back and take his kick. Very difficult distance, I would suggest. But Gastev deciding maybe on the torpedo if he can get onto it. Short in the square. No mark taken by Glendenning. Punched away by the Demon defence. Newport leads Langdon and takes it over for another boundary throw in. Umpire Cameron says all clear, and it's about 40 metres from the Eagles goal. Johnny Northey on the phone to his interchange bench as the ruckmen gather at half forward for the Eagles.
With just 4 points in it at the moment. Lewis back on the ground after a disappointing start. Holds a little too long. Loses it to Wight. Goes out in front of Stretch. On his hammer is Hart. Stretch. Now to Lovell. And Melbourne gets something positive going. To centre wing. Over the top was McKenna. Oh, Keane put Matera under a little bit of pressure. Miles goes in. Back to Keane again. Over the top of Lamb. He forgets him and goes for Worsfold. Out in front of Lewis. Coming to meet him is Steins. Look out. And Steins could be the victor. Oh, picks it up like it was a dry ball. And kicks to the half-forward line. Worsfold will be first to it. Claimed by Lyon, and well claimed too. Not before he got it to Mainwaring, who drifts play back into the centre, and there he finds Laurie Keane.
Keane playing a great game for his side. Just messes this up a little bit. Goes after it again. Still after it, Laurie Keane. Good stuff there by the big fellow. The kick comes wide off the ground. Here's a chance now for Worsfold. Worsfold goes for the left foot pass, and fortunately there's a bit of a dust-up behind play. Is it Greg Healy? Lamb on the scene, Lyon on the scene. The Lions are at the Lambs here at VFL Park, but we should have a boundary throw-in. And neither umpire, neither central umpire taking much notice. Play goes on. Chance now for the Eagles. Gastev can't break out of it. Throwing himself on it, Grinter. Flick out the back by Lewis, and Jackson takes it over for Melbourne. So we've got another boundary throw in, very close to the position of the previous one. Steins, who magnificent pick up and kick just a few seconds ago, doing the ruck work now. Up over the top, Dersma. Out the back, Worsfold. Just 15 minutes to go in the second term, and the mark has been taken by Stretch at half back.
Having a great day, Stephen Stretch. Into the centre, Wilson. There's going to be free kick. Well, Melbourne certainly want something from him. On to Johnson. Johnson to the left half forward flank. Spalding can't take it. Laidley soccers off the ground. And a throw in to take place, taking the ball out of the hands of David Williams.
Yes, John Todd's made the move of Scott off the ground with Matera coming on the ground, and Andrew Lockyer's gone back to his more customary role at full back.
From the throw in, both ruckmen trying to flick it over the back. Healy buffeted it out. Good work going at the bottom. Matera couldn't take it initially. Now a chance for Wilson onto Newport, but he's claimed and well claimed. Wilson again. Look at him burrowing in trying to get it out. The pair combined to take it down to half forward, but Dean Laidley is there to defensively mark. Plays on quickly, going onto the left foot. He just stabs it out to Miles. Has a player running if he wants him. Decides to use him too. Worsfold. Over centre wing, over the head of Malaxos. First to it'll be Grinter. Shepherding sees him clear. He pulls it back. Taken by Steins. He just about loses everything. Worsfold. Oh, crunched was Mainwaring. They pounce on him. And Peter Cameron very quickly comes in and says, I think there's someone at the bottom of that pack.
It's a little crude, I thought. Lions tackle on Mainwaring.
Here it is again. There. It was almost in the back from line as the interchange is made. Renstead on and Lewis off.
Matera's kick up towards half forward. No mark to Langdon. And they really have to earn it because umpire Cameron calls play on. Hand pass out the back by Malaxos. They could be rewarded here, the Eagles. Matera into an open goal, and he misses. Bad miss there. Fierce looking Carl Langdon. 5 points the Eagles lead by. Running to him in a dark lane. Danny Hughes. Some rough and tough footballers at VFL Park. Danny Hughes elects to kick straight up the ground. Langdon in the play, over the top Keane. Picking up the crumbs, Malaxos, working hard at ground level. Short pass wide is effective, and the mark's been taken by Hart. So David Hart between the centre and centre half forward. Thumps a long one in towards the full forward area. No mark taken there by O'Connell. Tidied up there by Lovett. Short kick by Lovett just goes over the top of Lamb. At the back, Hart keeps his footing just. Hand pass to Matera, who slips over. Whoa, nearly head taken off there by Stretch. Matera's up to tidying, and out wide, Malaxos takes the mark just wide of centre half forward.
Isn't it the difference, Ian, of Matera then? Just that agility, but he slipped over in doing it, and Perthy gets away with it. And that's something he's got to try and do, is keep his feet, but he butted up pretty well in the end.
Very good point, Malcolm. Slippery conditions at Waverley. Malaxos punting for goal from straight in front. Good kick by Malaxos, another goal to the Eagles.
Oh. The Eagles, who have had some chances this quarter, in fact they've kicked 1 goal too, and both those goals were very gettable. I think they've just occasionally gone a bit wider, but they've, as we look at Malaxos here, been a very good player for the Eagles. Missed a lot of the season with a hamstring injury during the middle of the year, but has been a real acquisition back to him in this second half of the year. Malaxos' first goal, the Eagles 3 goals, and they lead by 11 points.
9 effective scoring shots to 3, and it's Mainwaring who sends the Eagles into attack again. Dersma, a game attempt to mark, and he says, I'll do it on my own, and he storms through. The kick is a little wide, however. It may beat Turner over the line, or will he get there in time? He'll just get there. Jackson lays a late tackle, but he gets his kick down towards centre wing. O'Connell can't take the mark. And the ball goes over the line and on the foot. So Stretch to bring it back into play. With a long kick towards the half-forward line. Spalding does well.
Good mark.
Centres it, looking for Yates. Fisted clear of him. Past Keane it goes. Waiting down Malaxos, and he just pops one short in towards the centre, and the mark is taken there. So Murray Renstead gets his kick wide. Miles has got to panic if he wants it. decides to straighten up, then go as long as he can in towards half forward. Langdon at the back, steadies, a great smother, however. We'll see him lose possession. Gastev still another chance, tried to thread his way through and he may have lost it.
What a wonderful smother, Johnson.
That's the stuff that wins finals. I mean, that can change the game. Just desperation, and Langdon on his left foot, if he was a right footer, probably would have got away from it. And that half a second more gave Johnson the opportunity from that left-hand side.
I bet he was licking his chops.
24 plays, 13. No one able to pick it up. Hart chasing. Coop tries to get it out. Mainwaring will thread his way through from 50 metres. He kicks, pulling it back towards Glendinning at behind. And 1 point goes on the board again. Chris Lewis, Barry Cable on the Eagles bench. Had their chances, haven't they, Ian? 3-7.
That was a good kick by Mainwaring too, around the corner from 50 metres, and he got the distance. So Hughes will kick it in, and Melbourne, they've got a few problems in towards the half-back area. 10 minutes remaining in the second term. Play on. Players have nearly stopped. Mainwaring hasn't, and he kicks a magnificent pass into the centre and pinpoints Laurie Keane just forward of the centre circle. Keane goes for the big torpedo again, up towards the front of the square, punched away, gathered by Hart, just can't get clear of the tackle. Healy, off it goes to Stretch. He runs outside the 50-metre line and thumps it out wide, looking out there for Yates. He can't mark, and there's the benefit of keeping your footing. Worsfold gets the kick back towards half forward. Turner over the top. Malaxos very productive in the centre of the ground. Short kick out wide. Chance for Gastev. Gastev's kick up towards the 50-metre line, and there's a Melbourne mark to that desperado Alan Johnson. Alan Johnson across the half-back line has been tremendous. He plays on, kicks it wide towards the wing, and the mark's taken by Greg Healy.
Healy to put the Demons into attack. Down towards half forward. The kick's going to drop short for Wilson. Solidly met by Keane. Still trying to get it out. Wilson will come away with it. To half forward. Now they've got a chance because Spalding's loose at half forward. He plays on, he gets claimed. Williams in trouble. Laidley, the Eagles out of trouble. Overrun by Mainwaring. At the back is Steins. A short little chip, and it's taken by Coop, who did think about going on with the job.
So 90% going on.
Well, he is now. Tries to pull it back to centre it. No one at the back for Melbourne, however. Lamb to Malaxos. The Eagles out of trouble. They have to go as long as possible, putting it out in front of Gastev. Well, he gets away, pulls it back in towards the middle. Dersma does the spoiling work. It is effective. To half forward. Keane's waiting there, and the ball just pops on the big man's chest. Laurie Keane. Jeff Miles trying to create the space. Marks beautifully. A long sweeping hand pass. This is dangerous for Melbourne. O'Connell is on half forward. Back again to Miles. Almost inside 50. They've got the loose man. Renstead. Clear to Gastev. Over the top to Glendinning. And that will be Glendinning's first goal.
Gee, what magnificent play then, set up really by a kick into the defence of the Eagles, set up by Keane, and Jeff Miles did all the hard running. He really did make the space on this grandstand side, and with a series of hand passes, really did set up the easiest of goal. Here's Miles getting it back. Here again in turn over to Renstead. Renstead was clever in giving it over, and Gastev did the team thing, gave it to Ross Glendinning, who made no mistake for his first goal. Great play from the Eagles.
So with half-time not very far away, the Eagles have sneaked away to an 18-point lead. Here come the Demons again through Wilson. Wilson's short pass into the forward line, and the mark has been taken by Williams. Never at any stage so far in this first half of Melbourne looked like getting any teamwork moving. Williams' kick is a beauty over the top. A little bit too far, and it swings away at the last minute and goes over on the full. A free kick to be taken by the Eagles, and it's Murray Rance in the back pocket. Gee, big guys win finals, and Laurie Keane has been tremendous so far. Rance's kick goes out towards half-back. Good mark taken out there by Gary Lyon. Demons looking for players like Lyon and Steins, O'Dwyer to lift a bit. Wilson, Lyon's kick towards full forward. No mark taken. Spalding battling hard. Quick kick out of it by Spalding, and just goes to the wrong side of the big post, through for another behind to Melbourne. So their scoreboard looks pretty lamentable. 2 goals, 2 in nearly half a game of football in a final, and they trail by 17 points. Kick in by Lockyer, finds Matera in the back pocket. Matera for the Eagles, looking to play on now, gets around Wilson. Paul marking by the latter player, out wide, chance now for Lamb. The Eagles running, the ball is now at centre half forward, nearly a mark to Lovett. Good tidying up work there by Johnson. He's kicked wide, finds Lyon on centre wing.
Gary Lyon having a look up towards half forward. Steins comes out, well in front of Lockyer, takes it, plays on, gives it to Healy. In towards Williams he goes, Laidley behind him. Wilson tried to soccer off the ground. Laidley hurriedly onto the left foot, back towards the half back line. Gary Lyon slews off the side of the boot, but Sean Wight is there and he takes the mark. So many Melbourne players have had trouble getting into the game. White's kick taken by Miles across to Turner, and the Eagles defence working well. They're having little trouble getting it out of that attacking zone. It just wobbles over the line and the throw-in will take place. 11 effective scoring shots to 4. We've got just on 5 minutes of this second quarter remaining, and Melbourne would dearly love to close the gap. Lovell can't take it. Pushed wide by Hart. Keane is caught. Turner lending support. Now Sean Wight. Wide, and just bounces inside for another throw-in.
I suppose if there's been any criticism of Melbourne throughout the year, it's been their forward line, and getting close to half-time with only 2 goals on the board, it just underlies that. They really haven't flowed it through. It's been a bit stop-startish, and they really can't get that run through their forward line.
Healy trying to farm it out. Socked forward. Yates. A little chip goes back to Healy. So he's well outside 50 still. In fact, goes short to Steins. Wearing the number 26 Guernsey today. We've come used to seeing him in the number 11. Steins goes goalwards. Good looking kick too. Deep into the square. Touched magnificently on the last line. Great defensive work. And one behind us. 2 goals, 3 plays 4 goals, 7, and that man is showing no cause for concern.